What's going on, guys? Aero here, and guys, today we've got some potentially really exciting news for the highly anticipated Pokemon game on the Nintendo Switch. Now, the article that I'm basing this video off of comes from My Nintendo News, and so I'll have that article linked in the description if you want to go and check it out for yourself. But basically, the article talks about a recent job listing that was posted on the official Creatures Incorporated website, and this is really exciting for potentially Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch. Now, the thing about this job listing is that they're asking for someone who knows good experience with using the Unreal 4 engine, and so that's pretty interesting considering how they're asking for this, and also it's the fact that Creatures is asking for this and not really Game Freak themselves. So that's another thing. I know that's what a lot of people are using to differ between whether this could be for Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch. Could this be for the brand new Pokemon title that might be coming out either in 2018 or in 2019? And that's the thing, we don't really know, because the fact that it's coming here from Creatures is kind of confusing, because Creatures I always thought just was like the company that was sort of responsible for licensing Pokemon stuff, and they were also responsible for like the trading card games and stuff. I don't know if they would really need someone like this, but then again, there's also some stuff, like I'm not really that into the TCG, but I know there's some stuff that they could use people with like Unreal Engine for using with the TCG, because I know, like, I think if you get like special Z moves or something like that, there's actually cool animations that they make for like TCG packs. Maybe that's what they want here. Maybe it could be for like TCG trailers and stuff like that. As you always know, they have like those 3D models of like Pokemon or Ultra Beast or something like that. But it's still very intriguing here how they're asking for a person who has good knowledge of using Unreal Engine 4. And I know the one thing is a lot of game developers have recently started using Unreal Engine 4, especially for the Nintendo Switch. I think that with the Wii U, Nintendo really realized where they screwed up, as it was not a friendly console for third parties. It was very hard for third parties to develop, and especially with that second screen that was added on with the gamepad, it was very hard for third parties to figure out a way to make sure that the second screen was also being used and it just wasn't mirroring exactly what was on your TV. And so that's why a lot of people were just abandoning the ship with the Wii U, and they were like, there's really no point, we're gonna have to do more work just to port our games over onto it, plus the fact that it had a low install base anyway. I think I was just reading about this like a few days ago. I think that they're close to selling 3 million Nintendo Switch systems in Japan alone, and that's like close to, I think, doing as many as the Wii U sold in its entire lifetime. I think it was like close to 3 million Wii U's that were sold in 5 years after the Wii U came out, and the fact that the Switch sold almost 3 million, it's like very close to 3 million in Japan in only 9 months, just shows you how much the Switch is doing right now and how successful this system is. And so because of that, I think Nintendo really wanted to make sure that with the Nintendo Switch, they couldn't screw up, and they had to make sure that this system was very easy for other game developers and third parties. And so I think that because of that, they made sure that Unreal Engine works really well with the Nintendo Switch, and that is the case. I mean, Unreal Engine works very well with the Nintendo Switch. I know a lot of games that you guys might not even expect are using Unreal Engine, and a lot of these games can easily now be ported onto the Nintendo Switch because of how well Unreal Engine works with the Nintendo Switch. I know one example for this is Rocket League. If you guys have Rocket League on your Nintendo Switch, I'm pretty sure if you turn it on, some of you might notice that at the bottom it does say like made with Unreal Engine, and that's because that's what a lot of game developers use. Unreal Engine is like the main one of the biggest like engines that a lot of game developers use in creating their games, and to see Pokemon potentially being adapted or adapting to using this in their future titles, that could be insane. Now, the job listing also had a picture of Unreal Engine 4 being used on like a computer. Now, I don't know if this could mean anything for like the potential Pokemon game on the Nintendo Switch, or just what they're planning and kind of giving an example for like the job listing, but I'll put that image up on your screen. It should already be up, and you guys can see here it does look pretty intricate, and obviously since I'm not like a game developer, I don't know what any of this stuff here is trying to say or like what it could mean, but I can see that there is a very high resolution of a Pikachu model there on the left monitor. You can see a part of it there. So I'm saying, like, if this is like the kind of graphics that we're going to be getting on the Nintendo Switch game for Pokemon, I'm very excited, and I think that that's going to be definitely something that we're all going to be expecting, and I think that that's very fair to say that there's going to be a significant leap in the graphics that you're going to be able to see for Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch. And even if it's 720p, that's totally fine, because the fact that Pokemon's I think right now on the 3DS is at like 240p, and that's just a very low resolution. I think the 3DS's resolution is just very low, and a lot of times if you guys notice, like in Pokemon Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon, the games are lagging. It's not even just because of the fact that the 3DS isn't powerful. The reason for that is that the models that are used in Pokemon Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon are actually very high resolution models, and they really want to use that type of models in the game itself, but because of how the 3DS isn't powerful enough, it's trying to put those models out at 1080p or whatever like resolution they're at, but because of how the 3DS can't handle it, they turn out to be 240p, and because of how they're using that much power, it's kind of lagging and causes all of those problems on the 3DS. But I think even if we can see a leap to 720p, that's going to be really interesting to see. I think like it's going to be amazing to see Pokemon in high definition. I really just hope that Game Freak is also able to make sure that frame rate works, and I hope that they can find a good balance of frame rate and resolution, as those are two really important things when you're developing a Pokemon game for the Nintendo Switch. So hopefully if they could get that working, then that would be awesome. Like I know one is definitely the frame rate. Like I would love to play a Pokemon title in 60 FPS. Like I want to see the animations from like my moves like Thunderbolts and Flamethrowers. I want to see those crisp, smooth transitions or like animations, I guess, when you're using those attacks. And I also want to see a good graphical upgrade as well. So if it's 720p 60 FPS, I'll actually be really happy with that. But even if it's like 1080p at 30 FPS, that's not going to be that bad. It would be really awesome if they could put in some type of mode for you to be able to switch which one you want, like if you prefer graphics or if you prefer frame rate. But I think it would just be really awesome to see Unreal Engine with Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch. So I think that the one thing that we need to talk about is, could this job listing actually be for the brand new Pokemon title that's like next in line to come out for the Nintendo Switch in either 2018 or 2019? Because I'm not really sure if this is a job listing for that game. I don't really think that that would make sense. I think a lot of you can agree with me on that as well. I'm pretty sure that that game has already been in development for a while, and we pretty much know that that's how Game Freak works. Like they always have a veteran team that's always developing their next projects ahead of time. I think like right after like their main games wrap up, there's always like a secondary team that takes over for like the sequel games and stuff like that. But usually there's like a main team that always is working on like the next generation and stuff like that. So I feel like if that's what the next Pokemon game on the Nintendo Switch is, which I'm pretty sure like 95% that's what it's going to be. It's going to be Generation 8, a brand new like brand new region, brand new Pokemon, all of that. I'm pretty sure they've already been developing that for a while, like at least for a year or two. I'm pretty sure that game's been in development. So I don't know if they would really put up a job listing right now if they really needed some more people who had knowledge with like Unreal Engine 4 and stuff like that. So maybe this could potentially be for another spin-off title as well. As this is really the big reason why I'm saying that this is kind of confusing, because of how it's coming from Creatures, as Creatures isn't really responsible for the main series Pokemon games. They're really kind of just with the licensing, the trading card games, and also like the spin-off titles as well. So even if this is for like a spin-off title or something like that, I would be very interested to see that as well. Like if we could get like Pokemon Snap 2 or something like that with Unreal Engine 4, that would be amazing. If we could get Poke Park 3, that would be awesome as well. I really want Pokemon Battle Revolution 2. So any of these types of like spin-off titles, if they're using Unreal Engine 4, that could be really awesome as well. And I really want Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch, like the main series game, to use it as well, as I think it would really look awesome. And to see a really big upgrade like this, I think it would just be a really cool experience to play Pokemon on your Nintendo Switch like this. And I mean, we've seen a lot of Nintendo developers start to use Unreal Engine 4. And if you guys didn't know, the brand new Yoshi game that's going to be coming out in 2018, that game is also developed using Unreal Engine 4. So a lot of developers, even at Nintendo, are starting to use Unreal Engine 4. So I really wouldn't be surprised if Game Freak and the Pokemon team decided to use this in their next game for the Nintendo Switch. Now the really crazy thing is that we've already seen a few people mess around with Pokemon in Unreal Engine 4 before, and if I can find those videos, I'll show you guys them on your screen right now. And so there's actually quite a few people on YouTube who try to put like Pokemon models inside of Unreal Engine 4, and the results have been very spectacular. And you guys can see right here that the graphics just look amazing in these videos. Like it looks so cool. There's even some ones that I've seen here with Generation 7, and you can see like an Incineroar here, and the models just look really insane. And so I think if they could get all of the Pokemon that we have currently, plus a whole generation, as I'm sure there's going to be Gen 8 Pokemon, and this type of graphics with like this type of really clear models, I think it's just going to be really amazing to play Pokemon like this. Like, can you imagine having battle effects and stuff like this happen while you're seeing your Pokemon in this type of like model, in this type of animation? I think it would just be really awesome to see. And like the graphics just are going to be amazing if they could really get Unreal Engine 4 working with Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch. I think that that's just going to be a very fun thing for a lot of people. Alright, so I also did ask some of you on Twitter for your thoughts on how you feel about this information. So let's take a look and see if we got any responses. I'm not sure if we did. So I'm just going to quickly go to my Twitter here. So I did tweet about this when the information first came out. And yeah, so I think we got 2 responses here. I just said, I'm making a video today on the possibility of Pokemon Switch using Unreal Engine. How do you all feel about this? And reply to your thoughts to be featured in the video. And it looks like we got 2 responses here. And yeah, the first one here is by Angel, who says, I'd say it's possibility because of how the Switch is looking and we're gonna get good graphics, and I think that this makes a lot of sense. I think that with Unreal Engine, we've seen a lot of Nintendo developers even start to use it. The brand new Yoshi game, like I mentioned, is starting to use Unreal Engine. A lot of third parties are bringing their Unreal Engine 4 games onto the Nintendo Switch, so Unreal Engine on the Nintendo Switch is definitely really good. So I think if Pokemon started to use it, we could definitely see some amazing graphics. But even if they don't use it, I think that the graphic increase is definitely just going to happen in general, just because we're moving on to some hardware that's definitely more powerful than the 3DS, way more powerful than the 3DS, and more powerful than the Wii U. So I think we're bound to get some good graphics anyway. And we also got one here from I think Mitchell, who says that would be awesome. So yeah, I think here is just a simple opinion right there. I think that with Pokemon Switch using Unreal Engine, it would just be really awesome to see all of those graphics and how amazing that game and the environment, even just, I didn't really talk about this, but how the region would look like as well. Like, can you imagine like running through towns and deserts and mountains and stuff like that with an entire like environment in Unreal Engine? Like, that would just look amazing. There's actually a video that I saw with someone who created the entire Kanto region in Unreal Engine, and I'll put that like kind of playing in the video throughout. I'm sure you've already seen it by now, but we can see that Unreal Engine is a very powerful tool to developing video games, and I think it could really make some Pokemon games and just games in general look really good on the Nintendo Switch. And so there you go, guys. That's all the information that we got today about the potential of Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch using Unreal Engine 4. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please be sure to click that like button, and also comment down below and let me know how you guys feel about this. Like, would you be excited to have a Pokemon game on the Nintendo Switch using Unreal Engine? Would you not like it? Let me know all of your thoughts down below. If you're new to this channel, then please be sure to subscribe. I'm definitely going to have some more Pokemon content in the future, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Go follow me on Twitter at Aero if you ever want to tweet me something or ask me something. I'm usually able to reply to everyone on Twitter, so definitely go and follow me there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.